Welcome everyone back to Every Week We Follow. Today we're going to be talking about Villa's really fantastic draw against Arsenal. But Gary, first, how are you doing?
Every week we follow the boys in claret and blue. Yeah, buzzing, mate. Saturday was obviously a win would have been better, but I can't grumble at that result. I think second half performance was
I'm not
outstanding.
going to moan about not getting a win. Like that is like, I suppose we can get straight into it, but 2-0 down. I was like, well, that's that.
Yeah,
I thought we were
like, that's game over.
Yeah, definitely. With the way the game was going, with the way didn't play particularly well in the first. Well, we threatened at times, but we playing on the counter.
I think this is kind of a running theme with the Villa. We are still not consistent enough to put in 90 minutes performance. We were okay first half, and Watkins had a great chance. Watkins, that goes in, it changes the game. Other than that, though, the two goals we concede. I mean, the first one. I mean, it's Matson's fault, isn't it? I think I've watched it back several times, and he gets distracted by Odegaard's run, and he takes a step towards him. And by the time he's done that, he's got no clue Martinelli's behind him. The ball comes in, he doesn't react, and we're 1-0 down. Emmy maybe should have saved it. I don't know. It's come pretty quickly.
I think he kind of, I don't know if he fumbled it a little, but it came out quite fast, right? And he did his best, and he just couldn't quite keep it out.
Yeah. And then I think the crucial part for that game was, as I said at half time, we've just got to not try and concede another goal, really, and hopefully hit her on the counter attack. But it was difficult because now once they'd scored, they weren't pushing as far forward as they were in the first 20 minutes of the first half. And once they scored the second one, it was like I thought they're just going to set up shop here, and we're going to struggle to get any kind of sniff, really. Yeah. And the second goal we concede again, just really poor. Like it's probably the only mistake that Mings and Konza made, where Konza gets drawn to the ball, and it just means Mings has got no chance of getting across. And I think if Konza takes a step backwards instead of going towards the ball, he cuts that out, and Havertz doesn't get a free strike on goal. And Emmy's unlucky; it hits him on the side of the shin and goes in. If it hits him directly on the shin, he's probably going to bounce out, and it's a save. So but it did. At that point, I was like, "Oh crap! It's going to be damage limitation here."
Trossard was causing us issues down our right all game.
Yeah.
Honest. I mean, before the game, obviously, we spoke with Josh in our preview, and we were talking about, and he's a bit decimated by injuries, no Saka, that kind of thing. But I was like, Martinelli was just causing us all kinds of problems. I mean, to be fair, Lucas Digne kind of shut him up second half. He didn't really get a sniff. But first half, Maatsen was getting run ragged. I don't know whether that was a bit of Maatsen. I don't know whether he wasn't getting enough support from elsewhere. I don't know whether Martinelli was just too much for him. Not really sure, but he didn't look at it. And the fact that he made the sub at half time,
But they cut to Maatsen at the start of the second half, and he was pointing, and he was talking to Marlon on the bench, and he looked pissed off.
Really?
Yeah, he did, and understandable. But at the same time, I understand the change. We were getting rinsed, and I think all it does it highlights what we talked about before, that Digne has actually put levels in that position. Because I like Maatsen. I think he's a good player. And again, it was his fault for the goal, but he's not. He wasn't terrible in the first half. I think Martinelli was. That was their outlet in the first half, and he was getting battered. And I think that's a lack of game time, maybe lack of sharpness, match fitness. And like you say, when second half, when Digne came on, their threat down that side just seemed to disappear.
Well, I think he probably looked at Martinelli's pace and thought we need pace at the back, and also thought that because we knew we were going to play on the counter, that Maatsen maybe suited that slightly more.
Yeah.
And that's probably why he went with it. But then in the end, if you're not going to defend, it doesn't matter if you counter attack, because you can't.
No, you can't allow anybody in the Premier League a free run on your any channel. They will punish you, and that's what happened. And Arsenal, they're a good side. I know people jump on the bandwagon of going, they're bottling it and stuff like that, but they have been unlucky with injuries, and they are a difficult team to play against because they have so much of the ball. They do dominate. We talked about it with Josh. Like they do dominate the ball. We expected, first 15 minutes they had 75% possession, but then we did grow into the game in the second 15 minutes, and we kind of pinned them in a little bit. And I think it changed, and we had 73% possession of the ball. And then they scored.
Chance, wasn't there as well?
Yeah. So a couple of half chances, couple of good movement, and then it was. Then they scored, and that really changed the game. It did. We looked void of anything. Then we struggled.
What was interesting was that I thought that was what was going to happen again when they scored early in the second half.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's going to knock the stuffing out of us completely. Now they're going to sit back. We're not going to be able to break them down or anything. They're going to probably catch them on the break and beat us like 3 or 4-0.
I thought that too, mate.
But no, that didn't happen. I actually think. Whilst obviously it's a concerning injury, obviously Onana, he was actually carrying apparently a bit of an injury pre-game, a little bit of a niggle, and it sounds like he probably aggravated that or just decided he couldn't carry on.
Mate, at this point, he's like Samuel L. Jackson, isn't he? He's Mr. Glass. I absolutely love his character. I think he's we need players like that in the squad. But he's just. Last few months he's just been carrying little niggles, and he's just not.
And are we rushing him back? If you're sitting there and he's got a little bit of a niggle before the game, why do you play him? I know we're a bit decimated in midfield, but at the end of the day, we've got a massive couple of games coming up here now. We've got West Ham. We need something from Arsenal. We didn't need anything from really. It was great that we got a draw, but West Ham needed something, and we need something from Monaco.
Yeah. No, it is a massive week, mate. And I think if we just go back to the Arsenal game with those, like with Onana playing him, I think maybe it's a trust thing. It brings us on to the substitution for Bogarde. I think that was. I think
that changed the game a bit.
But I said at half time, strange substitution considering Bogarde hasn't been anywhere near the team for months. Not since the young boy. He went off against young boys, I think, and we haven't seen him really in the chat. So I was a little bit sceptical about it, but I'll eat humble pie whenever I'm wrong, and he was solid. I think my biggest compliment for him is that he didn't really have anything to grumble about. He went unnoticed, really, but that was because he was doing the stuff that he needed to be doing, and then he had actually an impact on the game with goal involvement for both goals, which we discussed off air. He also had a great chance at the end. Bailey laid it back to him, and Raya made a great save. So I don't know if anybody's going to look at that performance and go, maybe I'll go with that, because ultimately Tielemans was better second half. I thought he was a bit missing in the first half, and then it enables and I've just got to mention him again. Kamara is just the Rolls Royce of a player, mate. I don't know what we do with that. I was so chuffed that he got through 90 minutes on Saturday. That's got to be a great sign going into this week. I think if Bogarde can put in a similar performance, if he goes with Bogarde, that is, I don't know how far McGinn's away from being fit. He started training again, I believe.
Is Barkley back?
Barkley's out for another couple of weeks, mate. I think it was 2 to 3 weeks. So I don't think he is. I might be wrong. I haven't heard anything otherwise, but so I'm interested to see what the selections will be for those two games. I mean, like I say, there's so much foil on them, because this, I think I said this in the last show, these two games could make or break our season, really. And going forward, if we get a result on Tuesday, that's more or less guaranteed top 8 qualification, and it takes the pressure off. That means no 2 qualifying games to get through to the round of 16 and an easier draw. And if we can get into the quarterfinals, as someone famously said, mate, would you bet against us?
Oh God, mate, honestly, don't even go there right now. I'm not. I'm just
got
shiver. Just got shiver. Got a shirt. Got a shirt right there, mate.
The shirt, yeah.
Jesus,
mate, no. And that's what I'm going to say. But I don't want to go. There'll be people. Please let us know your thoughts about it in the comments, or what you reckon. Has that been too far fetched? Can we win the
Champions League?
Can we win the Champions League? That's my hot take, mate, for the rest of the season as it goes on.
Mate, imagine. No,
we've got no right to win it. We haven't even got the squad to win it, mate. But we didn't have the squad in 1982 either, and we shouldn't have won it by a minute.
We didn't have the squad to get into it.
Yeah.
What are we on about? Like, Jesus, it's crazy.
So never say never, right?
But anyway, just back to the game on Tielemans' goal.
Mate,
header!
Mate,
what a header!
I've got to say, if we're going back to the goals, both of them are brilliant. But for me, the first one is superb. The ball from Digne is absolutely out of this world, mate.
Just on Lucas Digne, have you seen these stats? Where is it? Oh, hang on.
Yeah, we need to get a little caption, mate. In fact, you do remind me a little bit of Stato from you remember fantasy football team with Frank Skinner and David Baddiel? You've got a bit of Stato about you, mate, I reckon.
Bit of Stato. Oh, here we go. I've got it here. Right. This is mental. Okay. So this is most big chances created in a single Premier League season for Villa. And Lucas Digne at the moment has created 12 big chances. Jack Grealish in 2020-21 was 14 the whole season.
Yeah.
Diaby, I tell you what, actually, you don't realise how big a miss Diaby is.
Well, I think we have. I think that's been a topic of conversation about how much we've missed Diaby, and that stat there shows that. It absolutely does.
But how mad is that for like? It's just a left back, and he also. I mean, I've put it on Reddit. I've done a thread around like who is the most underappreciated player this season.
Yeah.
The amount. So mainly, it's like the amount of shouts out for Digne is just ridiculous. It's like Lucas Digne. Some of them are saying Tyrone Mings. I'm like, man, this season he hasn't actually had enough
time. 20 minutes, mate, but practically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some people are saying Watkins. And then mate, you need to read it. You need to go read it.
I need to go. I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance, mate. After we finish filming, I'll go and check it out.
There's a few for Cash as well, and then some people are saying Kamara, but I'm like, I don't think he's underappreciated. I think he's massive.
No, I don't. I think you're right. I don't think he's underappreciated at all.
So I think it's Dean all day, like for me.
Well, I think I would agree with that purely on the fact that if we look over the last he's been at Villa 3 years and he's had to fight competition.
Well, and he's consistently been going.
Yeah.
Like he's consistently been going, right. Lucas Digne's going this summer. He's off.
Well, mate, I think it's a credit to him because I always, in my limited knowledge of football, believe that when competition comes for places, it either makes or breaks players. Players either take it on the chin and go, okay, that's my shirt, and you're going to have to prize it from my dead fingers, right? Which means they kind of just raise their levels. And professionals have got that in them because they're all quality. It's about how much desire and how much passion they've got. Lots of them just go, well, I don't care. I'm getting paid anyway. So if I'm not going to play, I'm not going to play. I'll go and play somewhere else. But if someone actually genuinely loves what they do and where they are, and has got the passion behind them and the desire, it just shows what you can do. He's out, like, from fighting off Target. I can't believe we could compare him to Matty Target kind of 3 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I just didn't have him. I don't know why I had him down for this player who came in. He's playing all right and he's Mr. Consistent. And I think he would just kind of go quietly. I thought it was just kind of like this player that he was just like, yeah, okay, someone better's come in. Much like Matty Target did. Matty Target basically was there. And Lucas Digne came in and he was better. And he was like, I don't want to compete for this. I'm going to go to Newcastle. He's still there, actually, by the way. I forgot about that.
What's he doing? He's working in one of the burger bars.
He played the other day. I saw him. I think he did. Yes, he did.
Really? I don't believe that. He's not playing football anymore. Come on, he's a bricklayer somewhere. Come on, he's not playing football.
I'm sure. Target a burger man. No,
there's the Target special. I'm sure there is at Newcastle.
No, I think it was in the cup. I think it was who they played. Was it they're in? Was it the quarterfinals they're in? And was it who was it they beat?
Oh, they beat Arsenal.
Yeah, they beat Arsenal. I'm sure he played
in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, I'm sure he played.
Mate, I didn't see any of that game. I didn't see the squad. If that's the case, I'm amazed. I thought he died, if I'm honest. I thought there'd been a funeral and everything. Big respect to Matty Target. I'm glad you're alive and well, mate, and still playing. Like, that's amazing.
No, but I didn't have Dean down for one of these players that was just going to fight. I thought he just kind of one of those just go.
Well, and particularly because Digne was a Gerrard signing.
It was.
So he's had to.
I think the thing everyone else comes back to is the fact he's expensive. He's on a really high wage.
Yeah.
And that's why there's always the thing about like trying to move him on, maybe for PSR reasons or whatever. But it continually just keeps impressing.
Well, like I say, he came on, and he could say that second half he changed the game. He cut down their threat down the right hand side, and then he assisted the first goal. And goals change games. As soon as we scored, it shook Arsenal. Arsenal went off the ball then for 20 minutes.
Then
and
Tielemans smacks the post.
Oh mate, how unlucky was that? It was a brilliant move as well. I thought I was jumping up and down like a bloody, I don't know.
Can you imagine if he scored them 2 goals? Jesus Christ! Oh my word!
Imagine the scenes, mate. Imagine the scenes. So I think because I'm very enthusiastic when watching football, mate, I'm thinking about setting up a camera for Tuesday's game, just like Gary Cam. Like watching I'm just going to set up the camera and just let it record me while I'm watching the game.
Just live stream it.
Yeah, live stream it. Yeah,
just do it. Yeah, do it. Oh, that's great. And obviously the second goal. Honest, again, fantastic ball from Cash.
My mate's brilliant. Yeah,
isn't he right-footed?
Yeah, I think he is.
He's come in on his left
foot. Yeah,
left peg. But honestly,
it was the right thing to do because.
Well, that's probably one of the biggest criticisms people have usually made of Cash is that his final delivery is just lacking. Usually hits like first man.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But that ball was just perfect. And again, Bogarde was involved, like causing havoc with Partey.
Yeah. I mean, Partey, I've seen a couple of Arsenal forums like really laying into him for the goals.
I mean, it's probably the only mistake. I think he's made 2 mistakes maybe that game. That's it. And he's playing at right back, a place that he's not meant to be playing.
Yeah. So, probably harsh criticism, but I think some Arsenal.
It's like us with Conser.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the criticism is harsh, but the goal itself, mate, I'm still not convinced Ollie didn't miss kick it into the roof of the net. I think he was aiming for the bottom corner, bottom right, and he's just hit it into the roof of the net because it's come off his.
It's a great finish, though.
No, it's a brilliant finish. I'm going to heap the praise on Watkins, mate, because I thought second half in particular, I thought he was really good. Like it was usual. Watkins really like stretching them, running after stuff, like kind of holding the ball up well, bringing people into play, and then his goal, he took it really well. And I watched the interview after the game, and I thought one thing that really was really weird that he didn't think that he thought the Havertz handball was harsh, and I was like, mate, you need to watch that again because like
we'll get onto that. It's literally like letter of the law.
Yeah. We'll get onto that. But the comment was a bit strange. It was like, I know you're an Arsenal fan, but shut up, you knob. like what you're talking about.
I think he's always on the side of the striker, right? I think whoever it is.
Give him the benefit of that. I think he's just going because he did say if that was against me, I'd feel like it was harsh. And I was like, okay, fair enough. And then, but afterwards, he mentioned in the interview that he'd like to play up top with Duran. And I just think that needs to be trolled at some point. Like, just give it a go.
We haven't tried it from the start. We've definitely had periods.
Yeah, we've had little bits, but I just think if Duran's going to leave eventually, probably the summer, if that's the case, because I think that's what's going to happen. If that's the case for this season, just while we're trying to, finish as high as we possibly can and get as far as we can in the Champions League, we've got to offer something different. And I think that offers us that threat of, Watkins can play out on the left and can still do a job and play Duran down the middle, and let them form a partnership and see what happens. And if Watkins is up for it, like, so be it, man. Like, I'm not saying do it every game, but like against certain teams, particularly against teams like West Ham next week, the weekend, I'd give that a go. I think it's.
I agree. I think it's worth. I think it's worth trying out. I mean, Emery is very calculated, strategic man. He's not gonna just throw it in. He'll only do it when he's like, right, we've got a system or we've got a setup here that's going to work. There's a reason for it. There's a rationale. There's everything to do with that. It's the same with how Marlon won't come in probably for 3, 4, 5 games.
Yeah, no, he won't.
Like, he has to learn the system. And the thing is because the way we play, it just doesn't. Like I said, the only way it kind of works is if one of them plays out wide, which would be Watkins.
Yeah.
And then you've then got to like shift Rodgers inside, or you got to do. So it's kind of like you would be forcing it a bit, like just to get them both on the pitch, basically.
No, I get that, and I just think as a backup, there's no way Emery's going to, like you say, do it without due care and attention, right? But I think it's something that needs to be looked at on the training pitch when they're working on it to kind of develop that relationship, to have it as
Emery said they are.
Yeah,
Emery said they are. He said they're trying to work out that. He says they can play. We think they can play together, we're working on it. So they are doing it in training.
Well,
and I think part of it was probably also because he was asked about it.
Is that all we're doing at the moment is damaging Watkins' confidence, right? And Duran's getting pissed off because obviously he's not starting. Now, when Watkins was brought off on Saturday, he was pissed off. You could see he was pissed off. Obviously, he just scored a goal. He wanted to stand and try and win the game. And actually, I think probably for the first time, I didn't agree with the substitution. I thought, no, he's just scored. When someone's just scored and the confidence is going.
Before the goal, he was literally just about to be subbed.
Yeah. But goals change games, and that's where you have to kind of think in the moment. And I think Duran came on, and he was obviously he's ever present, right running around, but he didn't really do much when he came on. And you go, I don't think that was the right substitution for this game. There's times when if it had been 2-1, then maybe bring him on and he's got that light ability to get a goal. But I think when confidence is high and your strikers just scored a goal like that, and it was a brilliant goal, and movement was good, the ball was good, everything about it was just great. I think it was the wrong thing, and I just like the second half performance overall for the team was. I thought we were the better side. I know Arsenal had probably three really good chances at the end.
Jesus Christ! Honestly, my balls went back into my body like that was. Gordon Bennett. Who was it? Someone hit the post, came back out.
And then Trossard put it wide.
Emmy save. And then he's going mad for the fans. Then you have that at the end. I was like, oh my God, I can't.
Mate,
I couldn't take it.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. No, as a spectacle, it was brilliant. It was a great game of football. Second half, I really enjoyed the game. I did. I thought for the majority of it, apart from the last 5 minutes, we were the better side in that second half. I thought we probably offered a little bit more on the counter attack. Arsenal didn't do much, bar the goal, and then obviously I suppose we should better talk about this disallowed Havertz goal because I can't.
Right. I was speaking. So Josh, obviously, I'm on message. He's like, how's that not a natural position? I was like, right. You need to learn the laws of the game. And he's right. He said whoever wrote this law is a complete retard. And I was like, yeah, because because essentially it's no matter how. And I mean, this is exactly what the thing that surprised me. Because I said to him, I was like, mate, this is literally the exact reason your goal got disallowed at Villa Park last season.
Yeah. Yes,
if it
for the same player.
The player's hand in any way and go directly into the goal, it's handball.
Yeah.
And actually in this instance, it did change the direction of the ball. Like as in Martinez was diving that way.
Yeah.
He changed it. So
the shot was either going wide or he saves it. And the fact that it changes the direction of the ball, the fact that it hits his arm, but I've seen so much stuff where it's never handball, it's hit him on the stomach, and even Havertz was going, it's hit me here, and I'm like,
it's literally hit his arm. There's an angle where it's behind him.
And even Paul Merson said in the studio on Sky Sports afterwards, he was like, "Why was he running away celebrating like he's scored a belt?" He has to know that's handball.
Yeah, blatantly obvious though with handball, so it's not even a question that one.
Like, mate, I don't get
wrong. If it was the other way around, I'll be sitting there going, "Look, it's handball.
Like it's handball. It's handball 100%, mate. There's no way if you're giving goals for that, it's ridiculous. I'd have felt cheated. This podcast would have been very different today if we would have lost the game 3-2. I'll tell you that for nothing.
But anyway, that was we've done it again. We've managed to somehow take something from Arsenal at the Emirates. They must hate us. They must. Have we again? I mean, they probably already were a little bit dead, but have we again killed their title hopes?
I think they were probably out of it anyway, but the result's not going to have helped. I think.
Forest, Jesus Christ, man! Honestly, Forest.
Mate, Forest are more of a threat. They just keep winning.
It's driving me insane.
I think unfortunately for Arsenal, they haven't got the firepower in their squad, and even with players coming back,
they're not addressing it for whatever reason. Arteta's like, I'm just going to play with no striker.
Okay. Mate, it's criminal because it's the one key piece they're missing, really. And it's all right dominating games of football and having great passages of play and all that kind of jazz. But if you're not going to put the ball in the back of the net at the end of it, it's pointless. You can have 75% possession if you're not going to score the goals. What's the point? I'd rather have 25% possession and score 2 goals. Do you know what I mean? Like it's something they need to address. I think there's a couple of things I've seen online where it's saying that and these are sensible Arsenal fans that are kind of not living in cuckoo land where they just think they should be winning everything. Like, that actually they believe the title's already over, and they're more concerned about next season, about reinforcing. So forget about this season. Let's say that's gone, but for next year, if players only leave, or they're a couple of injuries away. If Gabriel gets injured, if Declan Rice gets injured, if one of the other forward players that they've got, Martinelli, Trossard, or Havertz, get injured, they've got literally nothing that's going to propel them. So I think it's a concern for Arsenal that the wheels could be falling off there. I think watch this space for next year. They'll probably finish in the top 4 this year, I think, but next year will be a different thing if they don't invest in their squad.
It's not good for a team. Excuse me. It's not good for a team trying to challenge for the title who are so reliant on 2-3 players. So, like Saka being out for them is huge. When Odegaard was missing, huge. They lost someone like Partey or Declan Rice, possibly huge. Saliba being out's massive. They've had it a few times where they've gone on bad runs and they've gone, oh, it's because of X injury. And I'm like, look, if your team is so fragile that if one of these players is missing, you're going to go on a bad run, you're not going to win the league. No, you're just not going to do it because Liverpool are absolutely ridiculous. Like they lost 2 games all season in all comps, something like that.
Yeah,
and absolutely bonkers.
Forest are the only team that's beaten in the Premier League.
I don't care.
At Anfield, mate, just to rub the salt into it. I'm sure your family will watch this going.
Forest. The leaves will fall off them trees. It will happen. It's gonna happen. If it doesn't happen, brilliant, fantastic. But I just need Villa to finish above them. But at the moment, it's 8 points off, mate. We're 8 points off. The games are ticking down as well. But currently we're sitting 8th, while we're 2 points off Newcastle in 5th. Oh, actually, we're 2 points off City in 4th.
Yeah.
West Ham's a big game, isn't it?
It's huge. It's so huge, and I think this will be the Graham Potter bounce for West Ham. I know they lost at the weekend, but they will have had then, by the time they play us on Sunday, a couple of weeks with him, and I expect that to be a tough game at Villa Park. But I expect us to win. I do. I think it's a game we must win.
We've done all right. These next 3 games are all winnable. Like West Ham, Wolves away, and then Ipswich at home.
Yeah.
So we should be looking to get 9.
9. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
If we're really serious about trying to get 5th, 6th, 4th for me is just. I mean, it's possible, but I feel like it's gone.
I agree with that. I think a 5th or 6th place finish, but apparently doesn't 5th get Champions League this year?
It's all down to the coefficient thing. So part of it is down to how well we do in the Champions League.
Oh,
it was the same last year, right? Like it was the same thing. Let me look at coefficient.
I'm sure I heard he batted around, mate. That 5th will get it.
Well, it could be.
I don't know. Could be wrong.
I think it can be. Let me look at the coefficient. Oh, we are top at the moment, so I think it would be.
So
I think it's first and second, maybe, and that because last year we missed out to like Italy or someone. I think it was
Italy and Germany, weren't it? They had like both had teams getting all the way to the finals and stuff. So
exactly. So
no pressure, Unai. So we just have to win the Champions League. That'll be fine. I'll take that instead.
And on that note, that'll probably do us for this one. We'll be doing a Monaco preview, which will go out probably on Tuesday morning. But this will be out. Obviously, we're recording this now on Monday. This will go out today at some point.
Yeah.
As always, guys, if you loved it, give it a like and a sub.
Please
give us your
subscribe,
thoughts.
comments. We'll
all that malarkey.
Let's have a chat every week. We follow.
We need to start saying the like, subscribe, and comment stuff at the start of videos because I'm not sure how many people are getting to 29 minutes. I was just rambling.
Yeah, that's very true. We'll get better at this. It's fine.
But we'll get there.
If you've made it this far, God help you all.
Yes, thank you all. If you made it this far, pop a comment down there saying cheesy duck, cheesy duck, or something like that. Pop cheesy duck down in the comments and just let us know. Let us know if you made it to 29 minutes. So we just ramble for another like 10 seconds.
Absolutely. Come on, let's make it around at 30.
Do your chant. Do your chant. There we go.
Every week we follow the boys in claret and blue.
Lovely. That'll do us. Thank you.